Welcome to another Unity how-to. I'm Lunautical, and this time I'm showing how to use animation events. Animation events are functions that you could decide to run from a script at any point in the animation. So I've already got a project set up here, and I'm going to go through the process of creating animation and creating events in those animations. So what we're going to be doing here is when I press space, a cube will be spawned into the scene. After some time passes, the material of the cube will be changed to a red color, and then a rigid body will be added to the cube, which will cause it to fall. It's very lame and simple, and I got a better example of how animation events could be used in an actual project, which I'll go show at the end of the video. So here I've got my project set up with what I need. I got my red material color, the script with my functions on there, and my prefab cube I'm going to be using. You'll also want to have your animation and animator tab open. If you don't have these, at the top here, you click on Window, go down to Animation, and you have Animation Animator, and these will give you those missing tabs if you are missing them. Next, to go in and create an animation, you're going to click on the object in the hierarchy you want to animate. So for example, if I wanted to animate the directional light, I'm going to click on it, and inside the animation tab, I'm going to be given the option to create. If I go and click on create, it's going to tell me to name my animation, and then choose where I ever want to store it. I've already done this onto my main camera, so I'm not going to do this again. If you want to create another animation for the same object, over here at the preview, record button, and other various buttons here, just below will be the name of the current animation that you're editing. If you go and click on that, every animation that you already have created for the object will be here, and you could also go in and choose to create a new clip. The only other animation I've done before is the idle one, which is just 0 seconds, 1 frame animation, which is just sitting in the same position the whole time. So to create an animation event, at whatever time frame you want, so I'm just going to do it at the very first frame, there's going to be this little banner icon with a plus. And if you click on that, you're going to be creating a function. And if I go into the inspector tab and click here, I get to see all my functions. Now, those functions are only showing because I have a script with other functions on there showing. So if I go into my script here, you can see I have a spawn script, or a spawn function, a add rigid body, a change material, and a change bool. Now, all 4 of these were showing there, even though 3 of these are public and 1's private. As long as you have a void and then the name of the function there, it'll still show inside of that inspector tab. So the first thing I'm going to be doing here is clicking onto the first animation event, and I'm going to want to go in and spawn that cube. And I think I'm going to make this like a 3-second animation, so 1 second later, I'm going to go in and create a new animation event. And up here, I'm going to want to change the material to red. And then another second later, I'm going to go ahead and create another animation event. And I'm going to go ahead and add a rigid body to it. So again, first thing that's going to be happening is we're going to spawn the cube. 1 second later, we're going to go ahead and make that cube's material to the red material. And then another second later, we're going to add a rigid body, which will just cause it to fall. So on my animator here, I have it so it's going to sit on the idle animation. It'll go to the spawn cube animation when a condition called is space pressed is equal to true. And then it's going to go back to idle once is space pressed is false. Inside my script, I have it so once I press the space key, true is space pressed will be set to true, and change bool is actually going to change it to false. Now I didn't put that in the animation events inside the animation itself, but I have the add rigid body actually do this at the end of it, so it's still going to happen during the time of the add rigid body event. And just making sure I have my prefab cube and my material on. So if I go in and hit play here, and I go in and press my space key, as you could see, it's looping through the idle animation down here. But if I go in and press my space key, the cube was created, changed to red, and it was dropped off the edge because it had a rigid body component. Now, the only reason why the cube's still there is because the animation did not exit in time. So it started to do the animation and then was cut off because I eliminated the exit time. As you can see here, I have has exit time disabled. Alternatively, I could have and probably should have disabled looping on the animation, but I didn't do that. I just tried canceling out the animation from looping before it does by just changing a bool in the animator. So that didn't work out so well, but disabling looping would be a better option in this case. All right, and this is another project of mine that's available in public to download for free on itch.io. So I'll have a link in the description for it. But basically, how this goes and how I use animation events in this is when the player presses the start button inside my world animator holder, this is the initialized game animation. So what I have happen is these cubes basically come into the environment, and then just as soon as the first one turns green, I change the material. I have an animation event which plays the sound, and I do that 3 times. And here I actually have two animation events overlapped on one another. One's to play sound, and the other one's to actually start the game, which is start timer is what I have it called. So I could go to actually show this in action. If I go on to press play, here's the project. Currently lighting seems a bit odd right now. But if I go, set this to 5 seconds, click on start, and the timer goes and starts the second the sound on the last one is played. And then you can go and do your own thing, click on the cubes and stuff, and it goes off like that. This is a example of how you could use it in an actual project. And that's going to be it for this Unity how-to. I hope this was helpful, and if you need any support or have any ideas for tutorials I should do in the future, please let me know, and I'll respond as soon as possible. Thank you for watching, and good luck game developing.